Hi everyone, I'm Michael Lee, Solutions Engineer at DJI. In our last video, we covered regulations in Europe for dock operations that are beyond visual line of sight, or BVLOS for short. In this video, we'll focus on the United States and dive into the current regulatory environment, dissect 3 of the waiver options available, and walk you through the essentials of a successful waiver submission. In our context, BVLOS refers to drones flying beyond the pilot's direct vision, opening up possibilities for remote, large-scale commercial drone operations. The focus of our video today is the DJI Dock 2, which helps organizations perform automated missions efficiently and accurately, enabling them to overcome challenges related to labor shortages, safety concerns, and operational costs. While beneficial, BVLOS carries increased risks and requires strict adherence to regulations. To ensure safety, the FAA provides different waiver types, each with its own requirements and benefits. It's a common misconception that obtaining a BVLOS waiver from the FAA is a daunting process with numerous hurdles, when in reality, the process has become significantly more streamlined and accessible. With multiple waiver options available, operators can efficiently navigate the regulatory landscape and unlock the full potential of their drone technology. Let's begin by exploring the current regulations. In the US, drone operations governed by the FAA's Part 107 regulations requires a pilot's physical presence at the operational site. The visual line of sight restriction mandates that the pilot maintains unaided visual contact with the drone throughout the flight. This often leads to scenarios where the pilot operates the drone directly on-site or close by. BVLOS waivers are beneficial for companies that are looking to operate drones without the requirements of the physical presence of the pilot on-site. A perfect application scenario for dock solutions. There are 3 primary avenues for one to achieve a BVLOS waiver under the Part 107 regulations. 1. Visual observer on site. 2. Shielded operations. And 3. The use of detect and avoid systems. These will help you gain approval from the FAA. We'll explore each of these in detail, uncovering their unique benefits and requirements. Waiver Type 1, VO on site. The first waiver option involves having a designated visual observer present at the operation site observing the surrounding airspace. The VO on site allows BVLOS operations with a trained visual observer maintaining visual contact with the drone and its surroundings during operation, while keeping a constant communication with the pilot. This enables extended range and enhanced safety. A key distinction of this waiver is that the VO does not need to hold a Part 107 certificate and does not need to have a remote controller. Also, operations can be conducted up to 400 feet even without shielding. This waiver is ideal for scenarios requiring shorter drone operations where you have personnel on site, such as a construction project where site security could assist. Also, the higher altitude allowance helps speed up processes like mapping that requires overlapping photos. Some of the benefits of having a dock with a visual observer are: you do not need to have a certified pilot at every site since the VO doesn't need to have a Part 107 certificate. Time saving due to not having to drive to each site, as one pilot can manage different docks or sites. And the whole process is automated from mission planning to data collection and upload, streamlining your drone operations. We have worked with companies like Syngenta to utilize this waiver at research agriculture plots, moving flight planning off-site and automating data upload and battery charging. Waiver Type 2, Shielded. The second waiver option, Shielded Operations, permits BVLOS drone flights without a visual observer present. The concept of shielding refers to a physical structure that will serve as a shield for the drone operation, thus mitigating the airspace risks. To achieve this, the drone needs to fly within a certain distance from the shield to ensure operational safety. This shield can be infrastructure like power lines, towers, a building, and even the ground or natural obstacles like trees. The standard shielded waiver allows for operations within 50 feet of a shield. Let's dive into a real-world example in California with an oil and gas company who has been utilizing this waiver type. When they conduct visual and thermal inspections, they can plan out a route to and from the dock that stays within 50 feet of the ground or perimeter fence when en route to infrastructure on site. And then when reaching infrastructure, such as a flare stack, the drone is able to ascend while staying within 50 feet of the stack and capturing inspection data. Operations do need to stay within a hard ceiling of 400 feet. We have also seen other users utilizing the DJI Dock 2 approved for shielded operations at greater distances up to 200 feet AGL across the site, enabling additional use cases including site mapping and panoramas. Additional shielding options are also expected specifically for public safety operations. Overall, shielded operations are particularly beneficial for use cases like industrial inspections within large facilities, monitoring extensive linear infrastructure like power lines, and providing security overwatch over set areas, as these locations usually have options to be used as shielding. Waiver Type 3, Detect and Avoid Systems. The last waiver option we will discuss is utilizing a detect and avoid system. Detect and avoid technology such as radars or a visual camera array can be used by the operator to enable BVLOS drone operations without a visual observer or shielding. Relying on installing sensor technology to cover the operational volume can allow the operator to detect air traffic and make an invasive action if needed. This does require demonstrating DAA system compliance and establishing robust operational procedures. Besides these Part 107 options, there is another option under Part 91 to operate under Certificate of Authorization, COA for short, which can include authorization to fly beyond visual line of sight. This additional option is only available to governmental entities operating drones as public aircraft. We have heard from both Pearland Police Department and Oswego, New York on previous webinars who have been granted BVLOS authorization, enabling the use of drones as first responders within their community, helping improve response time and situational awareness. As you can see, these three waiver types give users the flexibility to easily integrate dock solutions under specific scenarios and benefit from remote drone operations. Before we continue to explain the waiver application process, if you are still unsure of which one of these waivers is most suitable for you, we added a link on the description with an interactive form to help you assess your scenario and recommended waiver type for your organization. So now that you have an understanding of different avenues to enable beyond visual line of sight flights, let's get into some more details on what is needed to support your application. The core of the application is a waiver safety explanation that should reference technical documents such as a user manual that will ultimately also be attached to the waiver application. The waiver safety explanation also includes outlining detailed operational plans, information on the UAS being used, pre-flight procedures, highlighting the qualifications of all personnel involved, and conducting a thorough risk assessment that addresses both air and ground risks. Now let's cover risk assessment in a bit more detail. First, you will need to think about ground risks and how to mitigate it. We still need to follow other Part 107 regulations. Within the application, you should mention any precautionary actions to control access to the site, including fencing, security, and population. If applying for a specific site, it is critical to detail and ideally show the site. Moving into air risks, start by considering the airspace and any risks such as nearby helipad. By default, a waiver application will be for operations within uncontrolled airspace, Class G. However, you can apply for additional airspace authorization after your BVLOS waiver is approved. You will also get into how the air risk is mitigated, which goes back to the waiver type. It could be through the use of shielding and ADS-B information displayed on FlightHub 2, using a visual observer, or DAA equipment. It's also important to think about the time of the day that operations will take place. If flying at night, utilization of anti-collision light beacon is also an important item to highlight. Finally, directly addressing the FAA's guiding questions on safety and providing robust evidence to support your operational plan are crucial steps in demonstrating your commitment to safe and compliant operations. Remember, a focus on safety and adherence to regulatory guidelines is paramount for a successful waiver application. The whole application process is done through the FAA Drone Zone portal. After completing the information, you can submit all your documentation and the FAA will begin to review your case. 90 days is the typical FAA turnaround. Now let's recap what we have learned today. We have highlighted 3 types of waiver options available and the information needed for a successful waiver submission. Here are some example recommendations from applicants that you can follow for your selection. If you frequently visit construction projects in rural areas with controlled job sites, the VO on-site waiver could be your go-to waiver to start with, as this will allow you to perform frequent mapping missions and track the progress of your project. For inspection-related scenarios in controlled areas such as solar farms, electric substations, or other types of infrastructure work, you would benefit from the standard shielded waiver as you conduct inspection routes close to a shield. Both applicants could also look to expand operations without a visual observer to a larger operational area tied to shielding based on trees, power lines, cranes, and/or other physical objects. Now that you have a deeper understanding of the concepts and waiver types needed to integrate DJI Dock 2 within your organization, are you ready to unlock the full potential of your drone operations? Whether you have a DJI Dock already or not, you can start exploring the possibilities of BVLOS Flight today and submit your waiver application. Streamlined templates are available through DJI channel partners in order to help accelerate the preparation of your waiver. With our plug-and-play solutions, you can be up and running in no time. Take the first step toward expanding your operations and achieving your goals. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest commercial drone applications, industry best practices, and inspiring user stories. We value your feedback, so if you enjoyed this video or have any suggestions, please leave a comment below.